Today we're taking a look at a car that is one of my favorites. This is the 2017 Audi S6. So what does it have going on for it? A really remarkable leather interior, Audi's MMI data system that also supports CarPlay, and of course, it is in the color that I always buy my cars, dark silver. The coup de grace is what's right under here. What we have here is a 4-liter V8. It has twin turbochargers on it to make 450 horsepower and about 400 and change for torque. Economy, it's really not bad. You're looking at 18 miles to the gallon city and 27 on the highway. The transmission is a 7-speed Audi S-tronic system, which is very quick and responsive, or at least that's what they tell us. Mwah. Yes. One nice thing about cars of this level is they very often have a lot of customization that you can do to the driving experience. This S6 is no different. Right here I can go from some general defaults such as comfort, auto settings, dynamic, but I can also go individual. And here I can customize engine transmission response, air suspension, steering, engine sound, and the adaptive cruise control systems right here. Basically, it makes it as comfortable or as aggressive as you want. Now, there's a lot of really cool things in this system, but the best thing of all is that it's all fairly intuitive and everything falls to hand nicely. I mean, the transmission is a traditional up and down, PR&D, and I gate over, up, down. I even have paddle shifters on the steering wheel, and they're actually really nice. Now, talking about this steering wheel, this thing is beautiful. It has a great feel to it. It has the hand stitching right in the middle, and it's a cut at the bottom, which makes it seem a lot more aggressive. It also has a little S6 badge right there. And that leads me to the gauge cluster, which is another beautiful thing about this car. It's a color display in the middle, and not only does it show you your driving data, which doors are open or closed, plus a beautiful tack and a beautiful speedo in a traditional dial configuration, it also integrates Google Maps right in the gauge cluster. Now, it's not as fancy as the Audi TT version, but that is still really cool. I love having that. That way we can keep the stereo going up here, we can have the maps down here, everything where you need it. Let's look at the reverse camera. Quite cool in this car because it of course has surround view. I can look at the front camera, the back camera, or the side cameras if I want. Now in here we have a USB plug, and that allows me to plug in my iPhone, which gives me Apple CarPlay. That's right, this car is Apple CarPlay equipped. Now, even though this is not a touchscreen, it's still very useful by using the toggle down here. Now, it's not my favorite setup, to be honest. CarPlay is really asking for a touchscreen interface, but it is quick to use, and it's really not bad. And of course, if I ever want to just talk to Siri, let's hit the button here. And you can also do navigation with it. Navigate to the nearest Starbucks.
Getting directions to Starbucks.
That's right, 1.8 miles away, of course. Well, enough talking about the car. Let's go ahead and take it out on the road. So the old car had a 5-liter 10-cylinder that put out about 450 horsepower. This one has an 8-cylinder that puts out, well, about 450 horsepower. Does it make a difference at the end of the day? Not if you're not a pro driver. For everybody who's gonna buy this S6 is not a track car. I mean, you can drive it quickly on the track and have a really great time, but it's a really heavy car. I mean, this thing weighs in at over 2 tons. That's not light. Woo! But it makes up for it. Oh yeah. And that's actually one of the most remarkable things about this car. As heavy as it is, it still handles remarkably well. And a lot of credit for that is due to the air suspension, which is adaptive based on your driving technique. We go into comfort mode, It smooths out everything and raises the vehicle slightly, makes the exhaust quieter, makes the shifter not quite so aggressive, and also makes the steering a little less tight. Now, I just move this dial here and go to dynamic, and now the car goes down to get into a more hunkered position. The steering is automatically tightened up. The transmission is going to be more aggressive, and the power output will be maximum. Now, one of the neat things about this car is the fact that it has all of this great power handling and looks. I think this car looks amazing. Is the fact that it actually has all the active safety that you would expect in a modern car. It has lane detection, it has blind spot identification. It'll remind you when you're following the car in front of you too closely. It's got everything that you would really want in a modern car, which is good because this baby, yeah, it's just south of $85,000 as you see it here. Not cheap, but you are getting one of the best handling, most incredibly sounding, good-looking four-door sedans you can buy today. Now, this car does have one more trick up its sleeve: launch control. Let's go ahead and put the traction control system in. We hold it in, and now it says that's off. I need to have the car in dynamic, which I do, and I'm going to put the shifter into sport mode. Once I get all of those little fussy settings put together, I can then line up the car somewhere. Let's get someplace with a nice long straightaway and clean dry cement, because otherwise I'm going to be grabbing for things. And then basically I jam the brake in, jam the gas in. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Jiminy crickets! Woo! Woo! When you get it right, whoa! I got tingles up my spine. Oh, that's amazing. I want to do that again. Okay, let's talk real briefly about all the electronics in it, because this car has a lot of electronics, but they're all applied very nicely and pretty straightforward. Yes, the menus do get a bit deep in some of the areas, like if I want to go to, set my individual car parameters, I have to go into like submenu. Not my favorite. Gas mileage, yeah, we're not even going to talk about that. We're not even going to go there because you do not buy this car for the gas mileage. And that's my look at the 2017 Audi S6. It is an amazing car. If you have the money, it's definitely one worth considering. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching.